Welcome everybody to the United Realty 365 webinar series of growing your business. Tonight's speaker is Mr. Hussein Taraz, and he's going to be talking to you about how to get money from the government benefit program. A little bit of a housekeeping. If you have any questions, please go to the United Realty of Canada website, urock365.com. And then you can press on the black, the red, or the blue button related to your questions, whether it's pre-construction or real estate or just realtors in general. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Pat Javdan, broker of record from United Realty of Canada, and Dr. Alexa Hunchin, General Manager of United Realty of Canada, for your support and making this channel active for the webinar series. Also, I'd like to thank our another sponsor, Douglas Gray, who is the author of What the Financial Institutions Are Not Telling You. And if you want a copy of this book, please register on urock365.com, and we will get to you the copy of this book. I'd like to talk a little bit about Mr. Hussein Taraz, who is the CPA and the CGA. Mr. Taraz has over 20 years of experience in the tax, financial reporting, business accounting, and corporate tax planning, and he's successfully running his own tax planning practice in Toronto. So for this time now, I'd like to hand over to Pat. And Pat, you can go ahead and start the interview.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Before I start, I'd like to mention a few points. For those people who missed the previous webinars, they can go to United Realty TV channel on YouTube, or they can go to Pat Javdan channel on YouTube, or they can go to urock365.com. All these webinars are posted on those places. And for next week, we have 3 important webinars. Monday, we are interviewing Baker Real Estate President and Vice President about the situation of the pre-construction condominium. Also, we're gonna have on Wednesday, we're gonna have an excellent presentation by Rob Vivian, real estate coach. So I recommend everybody to attend that. And also on Friday at 8 p.m., we have Kathleen Black, also a real estate coach. I recommend everybody attend those webinars. And before I start interviewing Mr. Taraz, I'd like to mention something is extremely important. And I have to get my message across that right now we are in this crisis for the long haul. Either whether we like it or not, we're gonna be in the long haul. It's gonna be long. You have to be prepared. So I want to mention, I really want to emphasize on three important rules. Rule number 1, be informed. Rule number 2, be prepared. Rule number 3, be proactive. So you have to follow these rules, and part of being prepared, you have to be adaptive. We're gonna have a different future. Please remember my suggestion, opinion, my comments. We're gonna have different future. The future will be different. It's not gonna be same. Not only in real estate, in all economy, society, our habits, the way we work is gonna be different. So we have to have new strategy. We have to have new tactic. We have to have new approach. So we're gonna have in following weeks, we're gonna have hands-on training to get ourselves ready for the new future, or some people say new normal. So I had to mention these points are extremely important. So I hope everybody attend our future webinars. Now I'd like to start new normal. So I had to mention these points are extremely important. So I hope everybody attend our future webinars. Now I'd like to start the interview with Mr. Taraz. Mr. Taraz, thank you very much that you accepted our invitation, and we're gonna pick your brain and give expertise and tell not only realtors, but everybody that is listening, that who will be listening, that how can they apply for this temporary help from the government. So some of audience, they may have a question later. We're gonna mention those questions, but now you can start your presentation, and welcome.
Thank you so much, Pat. First of all, I want to thank you and the United Realty team for giving me this opportunity to talk with the business owners and see that there are many things that worry them in this situation. Different programs. The very latest one was emergency care benefit and emergency support benefit. They have been both scrapped, and then they become one program named Canada Emergency Response Benefit, or CERB, CERB. Before jumping into that benefit program, I would like to talk a little bit about tax filing and payment deadlines, because many people are worrying that they have some vague ideas about what happens. The government generally deferred the tax deadlines 1 to 2 months for the future. So it means that for personal tax filing deadline now is June 1st instead of April. That is, so personal income tax payment deadline is August 31st. These are very important deadline, and also installment payment deadline is August 31st. We recommend that filing of your tax return be as soon as possible to get the best credit and benefits of the GST credit and Canada Child Benefits for entire family. About the corporate tax filing deadlines, if the deadlines falls between March 18 and June 1st, then June 1st is a filing deadline. For corporate tax payments deadline, again is August 31st. And also for installment is the same, August 31st. There was a main question about GST filing, because in the first stage, they didn't say anything about that. If the deadline falls between March 18 and June 1st, then the June 1st is your tax filing. GST payment deadline is June 30th. This is the main issue. It was 2 months after that, it was supposed to be on March 1st, but now they changed it to June 30th. For those that who file their GSTs on annual basis, they are not due until June 30th. Again, 6 months time, they extended for another 4 months from the February 28, 29 to June 30th. So now let's go back to what we were going to talk about, Canada Emergency Wage, Canada Emergency Benefits. What exactly it means for the people that they are in the situation. First of all, this is for people who lost their income, who are eligible. People who are self-employed or who were working and they lost their income. Those are eligible people. So there are many questions now. It's coming because it's new. There are many situations we are dealing that we are saying why, when, how. These things will clear step by step, day by day. But having said that, the application is available through the CRA My Account. People who are not familiar with CRA My Account, every individual has an account with the CRA. So they can go there and then they apply for this CERB or Canada Emergency Response Plan program benefits. So they can go online or that they can give a call. The number is 1-800-959-2019. So they can give a call and the telecommunication will help them to apply very easily. It takes 4 to 5 minutes to do the job. Now I'm coming back to the who's eligible. As I mentioned, the CERB applies to any Canadian who has lost their income due to COVID-19, even those who are not eligible for employee insurance or EI. This means wage earners as well as the contract workers and self-employed and individuals. Whoever that they lost their income due to COVID-19, they are actually eligible. You have, the condition is that you have to reside in Canada, you are 15 years old or more. For first CERB applications, you have to stop or will stop working due to the reasons related to COVID-19 for at least 15 days in a row for the period you are applying for or will receive it. Employment income, self-employment income, and provincial or federal benefits related to maternity or paternity leave. For subsequent CERB applications, you continue to not work due to the reasons of COVID-19. So there's 2 steps, the first time applications and the subsequent. So the total program is starts from March to June, and it's $2,000 a month. In general, is $8,000. And don't forget, it's taxable income. At the end of the year, you will have to pay its taxes. Something important that came today, that some people by mistake applied 2 times for EI and for this CERB. So those have been paid more. Let's say, yeah, they paid, the government paid them $4,000 for the first month, but they were coming back to you. Today announced that it was a mistake because you applied for 2 times. So they will calculate the money, and either they will take it back from you or they will count it for the second payment. So the very important thing about the entire process is that people should be aware and should be warned that do not game this. If you are trying to game with the government, it has a very severe consequences for you. So please be responsible and be cautious about the process. Okay, so having said that, this is related to Canada Emergency Plan. I'm going to step to another area, but here I want to ask if anybody has any questions up to now.
Let me ask Jerry. I got a couple of questions. Let me ask Jerry if he has a question collected from audience. Jerry, do you have any question that you received from audience?
Yes, the first question from one of the audience is that it's a real estate agent and they want to know if the real estate agents can apply for the government program.
Okay.
For which program?
For the government, for the CERB program.
Yeah, for the CERB, yes, they can apply. And because the real estate agents are self-employed. So they really get into this category. The short answer is yes.
The other question is that what if, that's good. What if they got paid this month some money from their brokerage? Can they still apply?
This is a very
Gray area.
sensitive situation.
Gray area.
Yeah. If you really lost income due to COVID-19, then you have to apply for it. It's a kind of self-assessment. But either this person, now you're talking to me, if this person is earning, let's say, I do know some of your colleagues that they earned $200,000, $300,000 for the first 2 months. So are they entitled? From my point of view, no. But they are applying. The situation is that they are
because
applying.
it's stopped, because the income has stopped.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very tough question. As I mentioned before, there are many gray areas that the government should deal with that, and there are more clarification that will come. But for now, yes, they can apply.
The other question also that I have is that I just want to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
The other question is also, the question is that I'm just reading it word to word. When is this program available to apply? That's one. And then, does it cover payments made to the independent contractor wages from the individual realtor? I guess it's the same question.
All right, I think this is the same question, because all realtors are independent contractors. So I think the same question.
It's the same question.
Yeah,
okay,
same question.
And then the other question is that, can they apply for the $40,000 loan? Can real estate agents apply for the $40,000 loan?
Okay, so this is an area that we have to discuss it in details. That's a very good question, actually. What is this $40,000? It's a kind of emergency business account that this $40,000, for those who are not familiar, is an interest-free loan for small businesses up to $40,000. The intention is to help cover their operating costs due to decline revenue because of COVID-19. Again, the business would then need to repair the balance of the loan by December 31st, 2022. So by December 31st, 2022, they have to pay their balance in full. The government will forgive 25% of the loan. How can you apply for that? There are some conditions. The main condition is that you have to pay salaries from $50,000 at least in 2019, or the last 2 months before March 15. So what you have to do, you have to go to your banking online module that you have with RBC, CIBC, or any other banks. Then you apply. There's a very simple and contract that you will sign it online, that you have to declare your payroll number, and mention that how much did you pay, and the reference number of your T4 filing. As you know, all the businesses, after the year end, they have to file their T4 regarding the salaries that they paid during the year. It's kind of tax filing, but tax filing for the salaries paid. With that documentation and your payroll number, when you submit it to the form, and then there are very strict conditions that you have to agree and then apply for that. Again, I'm telling you, if you trying to gaming, I'm advising people not to game with the government, because even Justin Trudeau mentioned that we are all in this boat. So do not try to take advantage of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you are really paid $50,000 at least salaries through your T4s, to your payroll system, yes, you are eligible for that. I know there are many, many areas. For example, Mr. Alex can ask me a question that I am a self-employed.
Mm-hmm.
I filed my tax return, but I never filed my payroll. But I paid on a situation that I was a self-employed.
Mm-hmm.
So am I entitled for $40,000? The answer is vague.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. But if you go to the bank will say no to you right now. But the situation is step by step changing. For example, we will go further. I will explain for you that if some businesses were losing their revenue by 30% of the current month, then they could have applied for 75% wage subsidy. Now, yesterday they announced it's 15%, not 30%. Things are getting changed day by day, hour by hour. So having said that, this $40,000 is for the businesses that they lost they have a decline in their revenue due to COVID-19. And the best way that you apply, you have to go to your banking online system and apply from there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jerry, is there more question? Jerry?
Yes, there is another question. And this question is coming from another realtor. And the question is basically, this realtor has a son who's 18 years old. And on March 30th, because he's 18 years old, the child tax has stopped. So he's been working part-time with Tim Hortons, and he got paid like 2,000 something. And about 2 months ago, they did not give him any hours to work. So is he eligible to apply for the $2,000 from the government?
If he is working, no. If he's working right now, the answer is no. You have to lose your self-employed work or your work that you're working for somebody, your employment, due to COVID-19. The loss of the credit of the child benefit, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I got one question, Mr. Taraz.
Yes.
What is the deadline? Is it only this week, or it can go every week? Is going to repeat?
No, you can go every week, but I believe that most people applied for that. But because of the load of the work, they categorize people based off their birthday. But even now, they can go and apply for that.
So
and it would be retroactive.
Okay. If I don't apply this week, I can go next week. I can apply next week.
Yes, you can go and apply next week.
Okay. Jerry, is there any more question? I think Alex had question, I guess. Alex, can you hear me?
Alex,
yes, first of all, thank you, Mr. Taraz, that you come to this webinar, and welcome all participants.
Thank you.
My question, Mr. Taraz, is that you mentioned regarding the 40,000 for loan business. Actually, there is another way for 14,000, as far as I know, that bank can be able to give a loan to the small business. Maybe please a little bit tell me how it works.
To my best knowledge, what is happening right now is that this $40,000, even if you approach the banks, some of the financial advisors of the banks that they were helping businesses, they are not aware how the system works. But I dig into the system and I spoke with many people, and even I tried to apply for myself. I'm not entitled, but I wanted to see how it works. So to be honest with you, this is the only way. You have to pay at least $50,000 salaries in 2019. And when you file your T4s, there is a receipt of a statement of tax filing for T4s that the businesses are doing that. Then you will submit that. It's very straightforward. Then the bank will review your situation, and then they most probably approve your $40,000. This is the only conditions that they put.
No, actually, I know that one that you mentioned. Thank you so much. But there is another way that is 14,000. 14,000 that it is 14,000. Yeah, there is another, because I received from the TD Bank that there is some incentive from the Federal Bank of Canada that give it to the banks. One of them was 40,000 that you completely mentioned. Thank you so much. But there is another loan that is 14,000, 14,000. This is another that I'm sure that it is much simpler for the people that a small business want to apply. It is not the same as 40,000 that you can't completely write. I don't know how it works for 14,000 if they want to apply a small business for this loan.
To be honest with you, I haven't heard of it. And I cannot say anything about it. That I know that due to the situation, and they are offering many package benefits and financial benefits to the people. But I haven't heard of this $14,000.
Okay, thank you. Because we have a short time, just I have another question regarding the rental. You know that the majority of the people right now have a problem with the renters, that they have the mortgage, they have any payment, something like property taxes, maintenance, and actually on the other side, the renter in this situation cannot pay the rent. Is there any way or any news for the landlord that can be able to give it the rent something, because in this situation is very hard for the landlord too? Do you have any...
Actually, Alex, is a very hot and interesting questions. I have some clients, at least 2 clients, that they are doing the property management. And I have other clients that they are at the other side of the table. So I can see both of these people, how they are managing with their lawyers. Let me tell you, based on the law, what I'm hearing from the lawyers, there's no way that you can not to pay your taxes, your rent. You're obliged to pay that, okay? But what even the mayor was saying, that it was just asking the landlords to postpone or give a break to residential people, not to businesses. Businesses are obliged, and it's a mandatory to pay. If they are not paying, then they are filing a file against them. So there is no way that you can escape this situation, not to pay your rent. But I've heard that you guys are more familiar with me than me, that they're now, for the residential issues, they put a paragraph or condition about the COVID-19. In this case, you can explain better for me, because I've heard that nowadays that they put these conditions for the benefit of the tenant. But the answer is, from my knowledge, based on my knowledge, is that there's no way that we cannot escape or not to pay our rent.
Okay, and how about the commercial landlord and tenant?
Actually, I was talking about the commercial.
How about you are talking about residential? How about the residential? Residential, actually, the people in this tough situation cannot, pay the rent for sure, because they are struggling also for the food. And this $2,000. Therefore, is there enough for the residential ones?
I believe that these payments, the majority of payments that the government is offering, it's just helping the people. But so far, we haven't heard from the government more than this $2,000 a month. And this 2,000, it's up to June, but I have another news that it will go all the way to October.
Okay. Because we have, I think, just 2 minutes, almost less than 3 minutes. Just I have another question very, very fast. That's the reduce hour. Some actually employees reduce their hours. That they right now they are struggling with the those basic needs of their life, because they are already they put their foundation of your life on the jobs, and they reduce their hours. Is there any loss for those people to reduce their hours?
Yeah, actually, the first of all, the government offered work sharing agreement. Your last question is the most interesting one of your question, because now they can have their jobs with this lower hour working, and then they apply for the $2,000 subsidy as well. This is very, very new things that the government released. They can have the minimum amount of the wages, and then they can apply for $2,000 as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Gentlemen, we are running out of time. We have about a minute and then 30 seconds, 1.5 minutes. I have one more question. If a person is getting old age security, can they still apply for the Canada Emergency Response Plan?
No, they cannot. The short answer is no.
Okay, thank you. Pat, I think we should wrap up. Can you please
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Taraz. Thank you all audience that joined us. Thank you, Jerry, for helping us. And is it possible, Mr. Taraz, that we got a couple of questions, didn't answer. Can we send those to you later on?
Yeah, for sure. And I would like to also have another time to explain this 75% wage subsidies and how do we is the best way for tax planning for the businesses in the future time, if you guys have any questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Taraz. Thank you very much, Pat. Thank you very much. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands, please go to urock365.com and post your questions over there. So that way we will collect all the questions and then pass on to Mr. Taraz so he can respond to you. So again, thank you very much. And I hope you have a fantastic evening, and we will see you on Monday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Mr. Taraz. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.